Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to be discussing a lot of stocks as usual. If you're new to the channel, my name is Stockcatcher, and I basically share trade ideas every day on StockTwits and Twitter, free to join, link in the description, as well as I make daily YouTube videos just trying to help people. So if you enjoy the content, guys, I appreciate if you like the video and comment down below anything, because I like comments and it helps the algorithm as well. So today I'm also going to be talking about GNS in this video. I know you guys really love GNS as well as I love GNS as well. So let's get into the stocks as usual. So today, EVOK, EVOK, this one just ripping face vertical. I say every video, guys, going to the moon. So this one I mentioned it at around like $3, and then I mentioned I was adding dips, looking for dips on the stock. It ended up dipping really nicely. This was a plus picture perfect setup for people that are more of dip traders, right? Compared to momentum breakout traders. There's different psychologies for both, but they're both profitable. So EVOK today. What did I like about the stock? Well, first of all, it had news, right? And I mentioned in yesterday's video, literally yesterday, if you watched the video, you remember what I said about the bios, right? I said biotech is the biggest parabolic sector in small caps. Not in any order, but the top three. I'd say the top four. You have to remember. Now it's top five, guys. You have to remember this because it's been like this for years. So first, biotech. It's not in any order of importance. Like they're all equally explosive. First is biotech. Second, crypto. Third, Chinese, like Hong Kong, you know, those like Chinese stocks. Fourth, reverse split. Fifth is IPO. Right there, you gotta remember them, guys. They have the craziest moves I've seen, like 1,000%, 2,000% rippers in these five categories, and I see every single day stocks in these categories ripping face. So EVOK was a bio, it fit that category. And what's the float, guys? If you watch my videos, you know the float and how important it is. You could check anywhere for free on the online. EVOK micro floater, a beautiful stock, and they're up ripping face. So I mentioned on StockTwits about short psychology, right? I used to short in the past, and it's a true funny story where I actually did short bio, and then I got blown up by a bio company. So these biotechs, man, if you're shorting small cap, low floaters, that bio is crazy, man. I know that you could also short bank on the downside in small caps, but you really have to be careful. I said many times in extended hours, because what's the big problem when you're shorting after in extended hours, like pre-market or after hours? Well, the big problem is that there's no halts, and if there's no halts, what happens if a stock starts to get big volume? You know what happens? It gets swept up. It started ripping face. $2, $3, $4. What are you gonna do? There's no halt. There's no stop losses. That's literally true. You cannot use stop losses in pre-market. So they get bent over. They started from like 3 to 6 in like few minutes, and they got really squeezed on this one. So another reason why they got squeezed was because what was the news? It was patent. It was like a weak news, right? And if you're a short trader, you short stocks that have weak news. It's called fluff or rehash, like the stocks that are like, you know, bogus type of news. I said literally yesterday, guys, if you remember my video yesterday, I talked about how the news itself doesn't matter. It's all about price action. It's all about volume. And you could check yourself. I said it literally yesterday. And shorts, they didn't listen. They got blown up today. And there's more reasons why they got bent over, but I'm not going to reveal all the reasons, right? Because I'm pretty sure shorts are watching this as well. So EVOK was a monster. So next pick was SUGP. This one mentioned 90-cent hold. I actually mentioned it again at $1, and then it ripped like 104%. It's just a monster move. And if you watch my videos, what is this type of setup, guys? You already know it's a multi-day setup. I said many times, multi-day setup is when a stock moves higher the previous day, and then it holds those key levels, and then it continues higher. It's one of my favorite setups, and it should also be your favorite setup as well, because it's the top 5 strongest strategies in my opinion when it comes to day trading. Well, I'm not just talking about small caps, but in general, multi-day continuation setups. You really want to, you know, it's a really nice strategy to have, and everything I say in my video is not financial advice. I'm just saying my opinions. So that was SUGP. The next stock was ASBP. This one was a penny. I mentioned the penny perk. The penny started to move up, right? And when I mentioned a stock was perking, it's basically starting to move, and then pennies have been really hot lately. I've been seeing multi 100% rippers. So I'm just trying to mention to you guys to keep it on your watch list. And then the tape level 2 started to get really interesting, and then it started to rotate up. Before you know, it's on that mode, it's going vertical, right? So shout out to the people that banked hard on ASBP. That was another one. Next one is egg. EGG. I said this literally multiple times that over 6 it's gonna rip face. So this was a very beautiful play. Again, this is a more, it's like a multi-day setup, right? Because I mentioned it for 2 days, and this stock was consolidating really beautifully, and then it just ended up starting to break over that previous flat top, and then a rip face. You know, this is a micro floater, so you can check yourself. Float, very tiny. I love those tiny, you know, the tiny ones. So egg was a ripper. So next one, CLDI. This one was a monster as well. I mentioned that was strong. How I figure out a stock is strong is basically many factors, but the biggest one is the volume. How is volume acting to the support? How is it acting price action, as well as not just volume candlestick, but you have to look at level 2. Look at the tape, look at the bids, look at how the stock is performing on the tape, right? Not just candlestick. So this stock in a rip and face vertical. I feel like every day I say so many bangers, guys. I hope everybody is banking hard. You know, I like when you guys bank. So that's a good one. Next one, ARTL. This one I mentioned it multiple times as well. RTL. This is a multi-day setup, and if you know multi-day setup, what does this look like right now? It's in a very, very beautiful consolidation pattern, and it's just starting to break out. You really want to pay attention to the key psychological level. If you're looking at it right now, what do you think that is? It's $20, right? So $20. Once it holds, it's probably gonna squeeze. It's a micro floater, I think. It's what is it, like 600k float. RTL has, it's like 500k float, so it's like tiny. You want to keep an eye on this one, guys. This was also a interesting pick. So next one, ANPA. This one I mentioned it halting up. So this thing with the stocks that halt up is that when a stock initially halts up, oftentimes, I say more than half of the time, it will halt up again if there's sufficient interest in a stock, right? Because when a stock halts up, oftentimes it's like thin, which means that there isn't a lot of volume when the stock halts, right? So if you're a halt trader, this is another strategy. I have like 20 strategies when it comes to trading. This is another strong strategy. It's called the halt resumption strategy, where you look at a stock halting, you draw trend lines, you draw the key areas, and then once it starts to the tape, right, once it holds over those key areas, you could just get in. And again, this is not financial advice. This is just my experiences and my opinions when it comes to strategies, right? So this is another really nice play. ANPA in the ribbon face, going up 186%, guys. This is crazy. So next one, RITM. This one I mentioned it. This is a more expensive stock. It's a larger cap stock. I don't usually share trade ideas. That's larger cap. I trade many small caps, and I used to trade a lot of SPY, Tesla. You know, I loved Uber and Carnival Cruise, but I mainly do small caps now. So this one, it was a expensive stock, but I mentioned in my previous video, if a stock is over $10, I consider it expensive. So all you really have to do, draw the trend line, ride the 90 EMA, and it just ended up ripping face $9 a share. So if you're more into these more expensive stocks, that's another strategy. I like to call it the riding strategy, right? Ride that 90 EMA as well. 90 EMA. Beautiful. So next one, Grove. I said thin name. Watching after open. When a stock is thin, that means it takes little volume for it to rip face. So I like Grove because it was just setting up beautifully on the chart, right? And then once volume started to kick in, and this is another low floater, right? What's the float on Grove? Grove is a 25 million. So I said in my previous video, anything under 30 million is low float. In my opinion, some people say it's under 20, but I say anything under 30 is good to trade. So graph was rip and face, nice one, 41%. Next one, AQMS. This one a lot of people banked on. I mentioned it, I think it was around lunchtime. And then I said the key area 60 hold, and then the ripped all the way to 70% gain. I'm really happy people banked. So if you guys bank on a trade idea, I like it if you let me know, because I like seeing that, right? It motivates me to share more trade ideas. So I'm really happy people banked here. Next one, this is a swing idea. So this one is called game. It's a multi-day setup. You really want to watch the 225 level hold, and it's starting to form a really nice technical pattern as well. 225 hold tomorrow. If it holds that, probably continue higher towards $3, right? So that's game. You want to put this on your watch list. There's had nice volume today as well. So the next one, so now we're gonna get into the stocks that you guys suggested for me to analyze. So yesterday the video was way too long, so I'm going to really speed it up, so it's nothing personal. So if you guys are interested in these picks, you guys can look it up yourself. I'm mainly gonna speak quickly. So ALXO, I just briefly, very quickly looked it up. This is a cancer company, right? So anything that has to do with cancer, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, Parkinson, the main diseases. First off, that's really nice, right? They get positive data. So ALXO looks like technical wise it's starting to uptrend after that big downtrend sell-off. You can look at it yourself right now in the chart. You really want to see that key 50-cent hold, and it's starting to look nice. INM. What is this stock, guys? This is a reverse split type of setup I mentioned earlier in the video. Reverse split is the hot top 5 movers. This is a micro float. I think it's like 500k float. So anything that's reverse split, probably rip face, vertical. It's also a multi-day setup. A really nice find to mellow yellow. So next one, this Erasm said GVH. She or he likes the stock. So this stock is a technical dead cat bounce setup, which is an actual term, where when a stock makes a huge decline of more than 80%, often what ends up happening is it ends up bouncing off of the lows, right? It's called a dead cat bounce. This is, again, one of my top strategies, guys. I'm pretty much giving all my strategies, guys, so I appreciate if you like the video, guys. Just trying to help people. So GVH, this one ended up making a nice bounce, but the thing with dead cat bounces is that after a stock uses that strategy, it starts to bounce. Usually the following bounces are not that strong, so you want to keep it on the volume. Try to see if the ones that resistance breaks, it could make a move upwards. TMC, this one I mentioned many times. This is a very bullish on this one. This is a higher market cap stock. This one also has a short squeeze angle as well. A lot of people are loving this stock as well, similar to GNS, which I'm going to be talking about later in the video. Look at the daily chart. All you have to do is look at the charts, macro, extended time frame. Beautiful with a ton of catalysts as well. Great picks to ARASM. Next one, HIT. This one is a thin name. Again, look at the chart. I like to call this the Cobra. The Cobra's pop. So basically what that means is a stock looks like a cobra, right? It starts coiling up. I can start ripping face once that tongue sticks out, like a cobra. I have like a lot of strategy, guys. So it's like very nice that this person Money Works, he said that his earnings in 30 days, so it's like a catalyst play as well. Nice find to Money Works. Next one, short and stock said Beam. Can you check that out? So Beam, I just did a really quick look, and this is a EV energy play, right? Like a sector. So if you've been noticing the past few days what's been going on, you saw plug, rip and face, vertical, the same sector, plug. This is a very hot sector, especially Elon Musk, it's really pushing these type of plays, this type of sector, right? Tesla. And EV, I don't think it's gonna die at any time soon, but with the Trump administration recently, remember that big beautiful bill? I don't know if you guys are into politics, but This stock beam, again, technically wise, it looks really nice. I like to call this the cup. If you guys know patterns, love pattern trading, I like to call it the cup. This is pop off once that volume starts to kick in. Really beautiful looking chart. So shout out to SNS. Right, next pick, Shane. He said Art L. This one I talked about just earlier in the video. I mentioned this many times, so if you could go back to the analysis on that. So those were the picks, guys. I appreciate you guys, mentioning the stocks as well. So some swing ideas I have is Lace, LASC. This one over 3. Looks like a multi-day ripper. I think it's a low floater as well. Keep an eye on this one. Next one, IGC. I mentioned in stock twits, 50-cent pivot. And literally as I'm recording the video, it went to like 63 cents. So shout out to you guys. You're already green if you took the trade idea. Next one, Sober, SOBR. This one looks like a multi-day setup as well. Over $5. It looked really nice. Keep an eye on this one. Sorry guys, I'm trying to like sneeze. So MLGO, this is the next one. Looks like shorts are bent over. Getting trapped on this one. Look at that 75-cent pivot, 75-cent hold, continues towards $1. MLGO, nice pick as well. So those were the swing ideas. Now let's talk about GNS, guys. GNS. You guys really love the stock. So if you watch my previous videos, I pretty much nailed. I'm not saying this to brag, but I'm saying you can check yourself. Every single thing I said is coming true, right? So I said when the shorts the stop loss rate happened, right? A lot of shorts probably entered bear trap, like Kevin Malone said on Twitter, and then again bent over. So once it pops over that previous resistance, remember the key 150 hold, they starting to go towards that again. And this is just look at this chart. I don't even have to explain what's going on. Look at this daily chart. You can check yourself. The monthly chart I mentioned yesterday, the trend is flipping, similar to QNTM. I think Kevin Malone is a very, very smart decision from Roger Hamilton. So he made a really good choice adding Kevin Malone. I think he's going to be a star player in this squeeze. So if you guys are not following Kevin Malone or Roger, highly recommend you follow them on Twitter. I'm keeping up to date with them as well every day. I'm following both of them, and the thing is that the huge monster bomb catalyst didn't even drop, right? There's so many on the list that they said they're gonna come up. So if the stock is acting like this, even without like a the explosive type of push, then what do you think is gonna happen when that actually happens, right, guys? You know what I'm saying? So the shorts really gotta be careful. And again, I don't wanna sound like I'm like bullying the shorts, but it's all really psychological and mental game of trading, right? If you remember what I said earlier in the video on EVOK, EVOK, believe it or not, this is a really big factor when it comes to price action. So GNS, do a lot of research on this stock as well, and I think I'm gonna be making maybe a video just on GNS maybe in the near future, because there's just so much to talk about. And again, like I said in the beginning of the video, I really don't want to make the videos too long, so I'm just really trying to keep that get as short as possible. So guys, if you're in GNS, what's your price target and you really want to look at that 150 level, it's key. I think by the end of this week, I think you're gonna see a really interesting price action, as long as the stock doesn't make a Roger Hamilton doesn't do anything too crazy where it plummets to like 50 cents, which I don't think. I think there's like less than a 5% chance of that happening, like probably like 1% chance it goes to 50 cents if some like bad decision. But I think he's a smart guy, and if he plays his cards right, the stock can rip face probably the 2+ very soon, in my opinion. So guys, if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you. I get a lot of people messaging me that they like the videos, they like the posts, so I'm going to be posting more, guys. I really hope to see you guys doing well, and tomorrow I'm going to be back at it, pre-market. You already know, guys. So see you guys, and have a great night.